Okay, and for this opening we need 21 mm socket, and then I only open this bolts in that way. And now they looks to be a little bit tight, but I open these bolts and then we continue. Okay, and now I am opening these bolts, and this bolts opens. Okay, and now they all are like a little bit free, and then I lift up this car body. And now I keep those bolts still in there. Okay, and now wheel is away, and there is this area, and there we can see this our choke and then this spring in here. Okay, and next step is to take out that connection rod in here. What is this anti-rod stabilizer connecting rod, and there we have this one bolt in here what is 17 mm. Next I take my tool. Okay, and here is this my socket, what size is 17, and I insert my tool in here, and opening direction is that in this way. That way I open that, and then I start to rotate. There is this my tool. Tool is in here, and I am using longer bar because then it is easier to rotate. And here is then this bolt. Bolt is almost open. It's in here, and then I rotate this bolt away. And there is this bolt. It is this 17 mm bolt, and then I can take that rod away, and now it's in there. And next step is to take out this brake fluid support bolt, and I will do that next. Okay, and then we need this 12 mm socket, and it fits in here, and then I insert my flange in here that way, and then I open, and this is this openings direction, that in here in that rotation. Now I open it. And there is this bolt. Okay, now this bolt is free. It looks like that. And then I can take that brake fluid hose away. And then we have two interesting bolts what we need to open. And they are those big bolts in here, back area. And let's look those next. Okay, and then I need to open these two big bolts, and I need 19 mm socket, and then long bar. Look, this is like 2 feet 60 cm long bar, because now there is that kind of bolt in here what is very tight, and in that other side I need also 19 mm socket, that I can keep that bolt in this position, and this bolt is in here is tight. And then there is similar bolt, a little bit lower area, and it is in here, a little bit down, and I need to open two similar bolts, and here is also that situation. And then this, when I have opened those bolts, then this choke and spring assemble is free in this down area, and at least I believe that it is free, and then I open these bolts. Okay, and here is this my situation, and here is this my tool, and look, this is long because this bolt is tight. And now I insert that my tool in here, and look, in that area it is so long, and then this opening direction is in that way. Now I start to rotate that. And now I open that bolt. Okay, cool. And this is like in that direction. In this way opens this bolt. And then I open also this lower bolt too. Let's go to look what we can see in there. There is this lower bolt. Okay. Now it's in there, and now I open also that bolt, and I take contact in here and then open it this way. Okay, good. And it opens nicely. Then I can rotate that in here that way. Now bolt opens, okay. And then I insert this my another tool in this other side that I can lock that bolt. Okay, cool. In that way, and then I rotate. Okay, and then I take these two big bolts away and then we continue. Okay, and here I am opening this upper bolt. Lower bolt is free. First is what I am moving. This is this tool. Okay, and now there is this bolt. It looks like that. And then when this bolt is free, in here we need to take that central bolt out. And it is in that one. And sometimes when we hammer that little bit, this Toyota's parts opens. And then I can lift up. I can do in that way that I little bit lift up that part and then same time I pull out that. And now this big bolt opens. Okay, and they comes in this position, remember. That way, and then I take this lower bolt also out. And it opens also good. And then I need to take that choke away, and now it actually moves, and I little bit move that my brake drum in that position, and then I believe that then I have to be a little bit carefully that I don't hurt myself, and I take a little bit bigger the screwdriver. And here is this my bigger screwdriver. Look, this is so long, almost 3 feet. And then I little bit bend that carefully, because I like to take that out. Then I lift that carefully, and maybe soon this opens. Okay, it is not yet open, but look in that area. I take another tool next. And now I have in here this new tool for this little bit smaller screwdriver. In that way I think that if I little bit bend that, maybe this part opens. Okay, not yet. And here, okay. And when I move that in this direction, now it opens. Good. And now this choke is free. Excellent. And then we need to go in this inside area to take that out. And let's go to do that next. Okay, and next I need to open this rear door. And there is this my seat, front seat. And next I need to take that seat out. and it opens so that I little bit lift that up in here both sides, and then I move that seat, and now it is free. This seat is, there are those holes in here where is this connection point. Okay, and then when we are looking at this side area, I need to take that side area next out, and there is one bolt what I need to open next. Okay, and then I need this 12mm socket, if I remember right, and then this socket fits in that position, that when we look in here, there is the side panel and this seat, and in there is one bolt in here, and I insert my tool in there, and then I open that bolt. Here I am opening it with the rotation. The switch is open. Cooled. This Toyota's bolt, good quality bolts that we need to. Okay, now this bolt is free, and it looks like that. And then there is interesting thing. I need to little bit lift up that part in here, in that way, and then also in this outer area. Then I can take this side a little bit in that way, and now it opens, and then I open this door also. Now this side panel is free. Good. And then we can look more next. Again, in here we can see those choke, this upper areas bolts. But before of that, I need to take this cover out, and there is two screws what I need to next open. And for that job, I need screwdriver and two screws. In that way, there is that small screw, and similar is in that area. And let's go to look that next. Okay, now we are in here, and I open that area, and there is similar bolt what I need to open. Now it's open, and now this panel what is in here, we can a little bit move that, open that, and then I can start to lift that up. Good, and we go to back in there. Okay, and now when screws are open, I can take first this part away, and then I can lift that a little bit in this way. And now we can see more in that in here, that what are those bolts location in there, and let's look those. Okay, and then when we look in here we can see those three bolts what we need to open next. Okay, then a little bit more light, that we can see there are those three bolts what I open next, and size is 12mm. There is this panel and all of these things in here. Okay, good, and I open next those three bolts, and then this choke what is in there should be free. Okay, and let's go to do that next. Okay, there are those bolts. Okay, and now I am opening these bolts, and I have in here this 12mm socket, and then friends, and then I open this, and I take all of these bolts away, and then when I have taken these bolts away, some of those are a little bit tight. That way, then there's final one. And when I have take those bolts away, then we continue. Okay, and now bolts are free. And there we can see, and now I take these bolts out. First is in here, and it's look that there is 3 similar bolts, and then the next one is that one. Okay. Now it's free, and then when I go in here in down area, and when I little bit lift that choke in here, when we look in that area in here, and when I take my hand in here, and then when I lift that choke little bit up that way, it is easier to take these final bolts out. And I lift that a little bit up, this bolt moves, and then I can take this final bolt out in here. And I little bit lift that up. Now then, okay, there's one left, and I use my friends. And now this choke drops down, and now this choke is in here, and then when I lift that, now it's release. Then when I lift that a little bit up, I can take it out in here. Okay, and now when this choke is free, I take my hands in here and I lift up this little bit, and then I take this choke assembly away in here. And then remember that this choke comes back in this way. Look these sides, especially these bolt sides in here, and then when it's okay, now it fell in there. This choke comes in this side. Okay, now it's nicely. And look, these areas, they are in that position, and then especially this down area. These parts are in here in that way. This is the idea. Okay, and then I install this my choke in this my workbench. Put this in here, and in that area I little bit open that area in this way, and then I fasten that, and it's more nicer to work when this choke is in that way, in there and in there. And then I can take this my spring compression tools in here, and I can start to compress these springs smaller. And I will do that next, so that I think that I install that part in here in this way, and look that these areas goes nicely in there. And then I start to fasten. And I start to fasten this my system there, and then I only fasten that. Okay, and first I use my hands. Okay, good. Very well. Now it's in this position. Good. And then I need to install. There is first set, and here we have second, and this comes in another side of this array. It comes here, and here, and in that position I start to compress this, and this is in that position, and I insert that in this low position. And my purpose is next to compress this spring in smaller size that I can take it out. Okay, good. Okay, now they are in fine. And now I notice that next I need to start to rotate these things in here, that I can do that smaller. Okay, and there is nice situation that this my friends, it fits directly in this hole in here, that I can rotate that in here, and then otherwise I can also use this my friends in that area, and I can compress this more. And now I start to compress. And then I check all time that these clamps are in right position. Please check that because this is a little bit dangerous job, and this must be all time in that position. I think that I compress also this another side, what was in here, and for that purpose I open my spring a little bit, and then now I insert that in different position, because I need to compress that thing in here, that way. And then I check that are those my compression tools right position, and then there's idea that when I rotate that like 10 times, I change in this another side in here. Now I notice that I need to insert in there a little bit bigger this part that I can compress this. Good. Looks good. Then I come back in there another side. Good, and then again in another side. So now it starts to be loosened, and again in here. Okay, now I think that this our spring, it is free because it moves in that way. Excellent. And then when it is free, like in that way, it moves. Then I can open this upper bolt, what is in here. And it means that when I am planning to open these, I need to first this area out in here. Okay. Okay, and I think that I need to open that bolt next in here. Let's look at how it happens. Okay, and then I open this bolt and I need 19mm socket what fits in there. And then I remember that these should open quite easily, if I remember right. But now it seems that this is quite tight, and that's I plan to insert this my thing in this my workbench. In here I insert that in this workbench, that I can compress that little bit that way. Okay, good. And now I hope that maybe this bolt opens now. Okay, no, it is not opening, and that means that I have to insert that in better. And that's I open this workbench totally. But I have bigger area. Then I take the choke and I insert that thing in here. And now I believe now we have better chance to succeed. Okay, let's look that. This looks good. And this bolt, again I try it. Okay, now it opens. And this was tight. Okay, and finally I managed to open. Okay, good. And there is the central nut, and this was tight. Interesting. And then I take this. Now I believe that when I take that system out, I firstly open this my workbench in that way, and then I believe that now this part opens. Remember this part, and sometimes this part became loosened, and this makes sound, and we need to replace that. But now this looks okay. And then there is next thing. There is this rubber boot, and there is this elastic part inside. And now there is this spring. Spring is in here in position, and then there's this rear rubber plate what became in that position in here. Okay, good. Okay, and in that position, when we are planning to replace this new spring, we need to do so that we throw that old, we open these bolts in here, these black bolts, and then we throw that old spring away, and we install new spring in same way as this current one is. That we need to compress that little bit, because then we need to install that spring back in here, this choke assembly. Okay, and then we need to install our new spring in that kind of position and fasten these bolts, and this is our next job. And then we continue. Okay, and then I start to assemble this new choke, and first I compare that they are okay, and then I throw that all away. And first step was to insert this rubber plate in here, and it goes in one position, and if this is too old we need to purchase new one, and this my one is very bad quality thing, but I think that it works. And then when I have installed this rubber in there, next part is to install this spring back, and here is this my spring, and it came in here, and then look, this area in here, in that one, look, in here, this area, it comes in this specific position. There is small this heel and dent, and it comes in this part, comes in here. Okay, that way, good. Okay, now it's in this position, and then I check that everything is fine. Good, everything is fine, and then I insert the rubber in here, and then I have next step. I need to insert this upper area, and there we had these two things, and first one was this rubber bar what goes in there, and then there is this boot, rubber boot, what protects like this chock, and then I check that this goes nicely. Okay, and we check that is there any specific shapes. There is actually a little bit specific shapes that it must go in just in solid in there. Okay, in that way. Now it looks good, excellent. And then final step was that I need to install that part back in there. And let's look that closer, because it is important thing. And now we have better view of what I am doing. And this part goes so, look, there are those holes in here, and they must fit in these holes in this area. Look, there are specific things in there, and they must fit in. When I insert it in here, this must go a little bit deeper. And let's look that closer when I move that little bit. Okay, and now when I am installing that upper part, we have to check that there is this dents in this area, and then I think that in here we must have those same dents, and that's I think that this is in here, and then I believe that this must go in that way. Okay. Now it looks like solid. Okay, it looks good. And then in one position it goes a little bit deeper. Okay, good. That way. Excellent. Now it's in there well. And then I need to insert in there this new nut back. And I have in here this new nut. And I open this package. Okay, there's this new nut. The package is so good that there is this bolt, and then I insert that in there. Then I start to rotate 19mm socket. Okay, good. And then I need to fasten that bolt. I believe that this force is about 60 to 80 Newton meters. And soon we continue. Okay, and then I insert this my shock in here, because I need to fasten that central nut. And I take this torque reference tool and I insert in here 60 Newton meters. What is in here? I fasten that central nut in this 60 Newton meters. Okay, now it moves and I fasten that. Okay, and now there is force 60. Good. And then I can release that my workbench, and I can check that everything is checked. Okay. And then I need to check that this my spring is in right position, because this can move like it happens to myself. Then I install that back. I need to install these rubbers in here back. Okay, and okay, there. No, it's there. And I install this my shock in this my. This is quite heavy. Okay, now it's in this. It is in this workbench in here, and then I adjust the spring back again. Okay, good. This part must be in very well in there. Okay, and please insert this very well. Okay, and then when this choke is ready, I need to check also that upper area, that these parts they are in right position, because when we are installing, note this upper area is like different angle, this shape, and it must be just in right position, that when we install that back in this car. And please check that these bolts are in right place. When we look in that area, this comes in this field side, that area, and then these parts. Let's go to check that where are those two bolts. Okay, now I am back in here, and now I check that where are those holes. There is one of two are in here, 1 and 2, and 1 is there. This is the symbol, triangle. Okay, and let's look that way. They should be. Okay, good. And then we come back. Okay, and now when I have checked that this bolt's position is right, and then also this my full system is in right position, look, this area, they must be in that position, then I can start to open this my compression, this bolts in here. And I take my tool and I start to open these bolts in here in that way. There is this my tool, Now I start to open this, and 10 times in here, and then I change my position in this another tool what was in here, and this also 10 times. About 10. And then I open that side also. Okay, good. Good, there is this my tool, and now this spring comes back, and then I start working also in this another side. And then we need to check that this lower area goes nicely, and also this upper area in here. There is no big holes or anything bad in there. Okay, good. Okay. Looks good, and then I open that another part also. Good. Now this area is almost free. Good. Then we go to open that next in here. Look, that one. Okay, and now this spring is almost ready, and now I can use my fingers. Now this part is ready. Good. And then the second part also. I take that away. Okay. And I rotate that. Now it's free. And then it's time to check that is this my spring. Okay, it must be fasten, and then this upper area, it must be also in good. Okay, looks good. Okay, looks good. Okay, and then we can go to install that spring and choke assembly back. Okay, and there is this my choke assembly, and look, in that position, what is this side? There is this area. I need to now lift up this full package in this hole in here, in that way, that I take my hands and then I lift that in up, and then we need to look these bolts what are in here, that when these bolts are coming in here, that area, we need to look when bolts are coming in here. Okay, and let's continue when I have installed this choke back in here. Okay, and then when I am lifting that, we can see in there up, and there is this target, and I need to only lift that in that way in here up, and I will do that next. Okay, and now I have managed to install, and it's good to leave that choke in like in that kind of support position in here, and then when we look in there, now it's in right place, and then we can look that area. We can check that bolts are in there, good. And then I take my nuts. There's my nut. Then I install these nuts. First nut is in back. Then I take second nut. It comes in there. Okay, good. And then third one is in here, and I insert that in here. Okay, good. And then I fasten these bolts what are in there, and then we can continue. Okay, and then I need to install this choke in that area in here, and it happens so that I carefully move that in here. Then I lift that up, and now I lift it more, and now insert that. First this stabilizer link is in there, and I can insert that, and then I need to manage to get these bolts in same plane, and that means that I need to lift up this. This part in so much, and then a little bit move that in, and now they are in position. And then I take bolt. Now they are in position, and here I need to insert one bolt or screwdriver. Okay, I take my screwdriver because this is a difficult job. Now I have in here 2 screwdrivers, and I insert these screwdrivers in these holes because this is that way. Now we are in this upper one, and then I can go to adjust the smaller and this lower areas bolts, and this is like adjusting. And if I am lucky, and then I lift up this drum, this bolt goes in there, and then of course I need to insert that in there, and then we need to look in that area that where are those holes in there that I can insert that bolt. Okay, now I have insert in here this first screwdriver, and second is in here, and my purpose is to target that these holes so that I can insert this bolt through in there. And this is a little bit difficult, but when we move that part and then this choke, suddenly this bolt goes. And I work a little bit next. Okay, and now I am planning to insert this upper bolt, and I think that when I move that, and then when I move that, maybe this bolt could goes in there. And then I think that I can also a little bit hammer that. Now it moves good, and then I give a little bit hammering in that upper bolt. There is my hammer, and carefully I move that. Okay. Oh great, now we have one bolt in there. Next I do similar job in this lower bolt too, and I continue. Okay, and then when I am installing this lower bolt, I noticed that I can hammer a little bit that chock in this back area, and then it moves nicely, and then I can install this bolt in there, and it goes like in. Now it went in there. There is this big bolt, sorry, nut, and now these bolts are fine, and then I fasten these bolts, and then I also install this that bar in here, and then this part in here, and then we are in a quite nice shape. Okay, and when I have made those, then we continue. And final part is to insert in here 120 Newton meters these dogware frames and fasten these big bolts well, and we need that another socket in other side and 120 at least. Okay, and now this job is ready, and thank you for watching, and everything looks good. We have new chock and new spring in there. Thank you, and we will see in next movie.